This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the Bio CEO and Investor Conference 2019 in New York. With me right now is Randy Hubbell from Carmell Therapeutics. It's a private company. Randy, welcome to SNNLive.
Hey, thank you. I'm so happy to be here today.
It's great to have you on. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Carmell Therapeutics, we're a biotech company. We're a clinical development stage company. We have a unique biologic that reduces the burden of healing by accelerating and enhancing healing while reducing infections.
So let's get a history of the company. When did it start, and how did you develop to where you're currently at today?
So the history of the company, the technology was discovered by scientists at Carnegie Mellon. They were able to do some unique things with blood-based products where we have a significant capability to take whole platelet-enriched plasma from healthy donors, process it into medical technologies, and the most important part is when we deliver it right to the injured site, we have a controlled degradation rate, meaning it bathes the area in regenerative factors over the course of weeks for which the body needs it for healing.
So what about your medical technology is different when compared to some of your peers out there that are developing similar medical technologies or that are already on the market?
So the biggest differences are going to be we take whole platelet-enriched plasma from healthy donors, and we don't separate it, fractionate it. So there's hundreds of proteins that exist in that plasma. All of those proteins participate in the healing process. The second biggest difference is we have a unique capability to cross-link the proteins, and that cross-linking gives it presence, meaning it's a controlled release mechanism. And then third, we manufacture all of this in our facilities in Pittsburgh, and we control and have lot-to-lot consistency so the physicians and the patients know exactly what they're getting every time.
And Randy, as you said in the opening, you're a clinical stage company. Tell me, where are we at in clinical development?
So we are in the process of planning our phase 3 study. In the summer of 2019, we'll have first patient in. So we'll begin to enroll in a well-organized randomized clinical study demonstrating superiority over standard of care.
And what's the size of the target addressable market?
So we're looking at trauma fixation devices where we will be an adjunct to accelerate the healing and improve the outcomes. That's over $1 billion market in itself, and that's just the first indication. This technology can be used in many applications for bone healing.
And what's your background? I mean, how did you come into all this?
So I had 13 years of experience at Johnson & Johnson. 5.5 of those was with Johnson & Johnson Biosurgery, where we specifically took the same source material and created medical technologies through the same regulatory pathway that we'll be pursuing at Carmell.
So I want to get back to the medical technology itself, and I wanted to also help our audience understand in terms of the standard of care, what's currently done, and then how is what you're developing either replacing or adding to that process?
Yeah, so the current standard of care for long bone fracture, which is the first indication we'll pursue in our phase 3 clinical studies, is simply hardware fixation. So it's a metal rod that's placed in the bone to fix the bone during surgery. Our technology will be an adjunct to that standard of care, meaning will be used after the bone is fixed with the hardware. It'll be placed down into the cracks and crevices of the bone. It will biodegrade over many weeks, and as it biodegrades, it will bathe the area in regenerative factors. There's no other technology on the market that is doing that today.
And Randy, another question I had too is, what's the barriers to entry for your competition?
So this is a significant regulatory process that we're going through. This is the most robust regulatory approval in the med-surg orthopedic wound healing space. We have 16 issued patents on the technology we have, which the essence of those patents are taking whole platelet-enriched plasma, plasticizing it, and cross-linking it for presence. The other significant barrier that we hope to obtain is for a BLA, which is unique from a regulatory approval process, the FDA will grant 12 years of marketing exclusivity, which means after they provide us with our approval, they will not accept another application for 12 years.
And then from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's growth drivers now moving forward?
So we are a clinical, regulatory, quality-centric company. We're creating value for our investors by advancing through the clinical regulatory process. So those milestones are going to be IND submission, IND clearance, first patient in clinical study, data reveal, BLA approval.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Carmell Therapeutics?
The easiest place is our website has tremendous amounts of information on our vision and what we're doing. It's carmellrx.com, CARMELLRX.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the BioCEO and Investor Conference 2019 in New York. With me again has been Randy Hubbell from Carmell Therapeutics. It's a private company. Randy, thank you again for joining me today.
Thanks, Rob.